I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. Like, it's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game.
She's the only player in the league that will say this shit. She's the only player in the league. Like, you won't hear Aja Wilson going out there. I am at the top of the scouting report. Ariel Atkins is at the top of the scouting report for your team. Camila Cardoso is at the top of the scouting report. Teams just box you out.
Angel Reese is desperately fighting a battle for credit she simply hasn't earned. She has constructed a reality where she stands shoulder to shoulder with Caitlyn Clark as the co-savior of the WNBA, an equal partner in its newfound glory. But with every defiant quote and underwhelming stat line, a different story emerges, one that reveals a harsh truth. She isn't the co-pilot of this revolution. She's just the one making the most noise from the back, demanding everyone look at her instead of the star who's actually driving. This isn't a story of a healthy rivalry, it's the chronicle of a delusion, and it's playing out for the entire world to see.
The reason why I feel like she isn't unfairly criticized is because I'm not gonna go into the bad guy, good guy. At the end of the day, Angel faces everywhere, right? And so when we talk about marketability and her inability to finish, her inability to do certain things, I think it goes to that. So I'm gonna keep it a band with you. I agree that if she gonna be the aggressor, then be the aggressor. At the same time, if you're gonna throw punches, you gotta take them. And so I felt like, to your point when you said, I bet she did. You can't see me because Caitlyn did it. Right. Absolutely right. But now when you come in the league, right, and you fall in, you know what I'm saying? You got your 13 and 13, but now it's not translating to winning.
The latest chapter in this personal mythology is Reese's shocking claim that she's at the top of every opponent's scouting report. According to Angel, coaches are losing sleep, holding late-night emergency meetings, and drawing up complex defenses, all whispering her name in fear. It's a bold statement that paints her as an unstoppable force, a problem that teams must solve with military precision. But the numbers, as they so often do, tell a brutally honest story. Yes, she is an absolutely elite, undeniable rebounder.
If Angel Reese was someone who ever held her tongue and was someone who had been a no comment machine in the past, someone who wasn't so unapologetically Angel, if all those things existed, people wouldn't look at her recent no comment and just say, you've always had a comment before.
She attacks the glass with a ferocity that is genuinely game-changing and keeps her team in possessions they have no right to win. But the rest of the scouting report is far less terrifying. Her finishing at the rim has been painfully poor. With a field goal percentage so low, it makes you wonder if the basket has a personal vendetta against her. The real scouting report on Angel Reese probably has less to do with stopping her offensive moves and more to do with a simple three-part plan. Let her shoot, bait her into a technical foul, and box her out. But to understand where this level of unshakable confidence comes from, you have to rewind the clock just 1 year.
Please tell me it's a fake quote. Please tell me this is a fake quote. Because this is something where it's like, everyone says, and it's like, oh, Angel's a developing player. It's like, oh, she's only in year 2. Why is everyone like going at Angel Reese and all this stuff? And, you know, oh, people can't stop talking about Angel Reese. This better be a...
Back at LSU, Angel Reese wasn't just a player. She was a titan. She was the Bayou Barbie, a walking double-double who dominated the paint, flexed on her opponents with unapologetic swagger, and led her team to a national championship. In college, she had every right to claim she was the center of the basketball universe. Her rivalry with Caitlyn Clark felt like a genuine clash of equals, a battle between two different but equally potent styles of dominance. But the professional stage is a different, more unforgiving beast, and the power dynamic from their college days has been violently rewritten. While Reese has struggled to find her footing and any semblance of offensive consistency, Caitlyn Clark's game has not only translated, but somehow elevated.
But I will say, Angel Reese, Ronnie and I have debated it on the program. Ronnie has been pretty clear that he thinks that she sucks at basketball. I have defended her as having dimensions of her game that are high level. I got to a point here a couple of weeks ago where I was starting to wonder if she actually sucked.
Clark is shattering rookie records for scoring and assists, launching threes from the logo with casual ease, and looking every bit like the generational talent she was promised to be. The rivalry that was once a legitimate debate has now become a quiet lecture. It's not a competition anymore. It's a coronation for one and a harsh, season-long reality check for the other. So when the numbers on the court no longer make your case, what do? You change the game.
Of scouting reports after talking to some teams, even if it's not offensively, which I think that's what it is. You know, she is the best rebounder in the WNBA, so they're probably telling them like, hey, we have to figure out how to keep Angel Reese out of that paint when that ball is clanging off of that rim, okay? You know, the fact that Angel Reese finds Cardoso for the high-low post pass, I think that's one of the main things that the Chicago Sky like to get to, if it's not the pick and roll. So
when you can't win on the scoreboard, you create a new battleground in the headlines. And this is where Angel Reese's true genius begins to shine, manufacturing drama. The rivalry with Caitlyn Clark is now almost entirely one-sided. Clark rarely, if ever, mentions Reese by name. Her focus is laser sharp on the game, her team, and navigating the relentless defensive pressure she faces every single night. Reese, on the other hand, seems to be playing for the cameras as much as for the win.
Completely criticize Angel Reese because Tyler Marsh condones this. Tyler Marsh reinforces this. Tyler Marsh is this point forward Angel Reese. This is Tyler Marsh's deal. This is Tyler Marsh's gig. In order to get Camila Cardoso the ball, he needed to fix some things up, switch some things around. And in this most recent preseason game, a game in which Angel Reese had 3 rebounds, I'll take that every day of the week.
The most telling moment, the one that cemented her public image, came when her teammate, Chennedy Carter, delivered a now infamous cheap shot to Clark. As the sports world replayed the flagrant foul in outrage, the cameras caught Angel Reese on the sideline jumping to her feet and clapping with undisguised glee. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated villainy, and she seemed to relish every second of it. In that instant, she was no longer just a player. She was a character in a much larger drama, and she was making sure everyone knew exactly what role she intended to play.
My gosh. Is this for real? Is this really for real? But I'm going to show you this video because if you haven't seen it yet, you're going to absolutely fall out of your chair laughing. I know what I'm going to call this. I'm going to call this the curse of Dave Portnoy. Barstool Sports El Presidente. He went on a rant about that Ryan Clark stuff, and he said all he had to say about Angel Reese and Ryan Clark and that whole mess. And I will say this, his rant cursed Angel Reese because she proceeded to have the absolute worst game of her life.
If you can't beat them on the court or in the endorsement race, you can at least control the conversation. Angel Reese has weaponized the microphone and her social media accounts in a way no other player in the league has even attempted. She understands the modern media ecosystem better than anyone. She knows that raw controversy generates more clicks than a quiet victory. She knows that outrage drives engagement, and a single spicy quote will get far more airtime than a solid yet unremarkable box score.
I'm trying to stay consistent as possible. Obviously, I struggled in the first couple of games, and just staying poised, trusting my work. I have great people in my corner. I never really questioned my ability of what I can do. Obviously, you go up and down through your career. And thinking in the beginning it's going to be my sophomore slump, but I got out of it in my first couple of games, and I'm here and helping the team win as much as I can. That's the most important thing to me. Yeah, I'm happy.
You mentioned Sunday about those first few games. At what point do you feel like you maybe had kind of that like switch foot moment of feeling like you were getting back on the level?
I think I started a New York game.
She is constantly feeding the content machine, and the machine is feasting. Every time she speaks, she launches a dozen articles, 100 video essays, and 1,000 heated debates on social media. Headlines like, Angel Reese speaks out, Reese sends a message, and Reese's latest comments are now a staple of sports news. She has successfully turned on-court mediocrity into off-court marketing brilliance, proving you don't have to be the best player to be the most talked about.
Last year, you made a powerful statement saying the reason people are watching women's basketball is not just because of one player, but because of you too. A year later, do you feel like you're
Next
getting
question.
Yeah, we'll move on.
Angel Reese is a very good player, but she's ugly to watch. Have you watched her play? She's a typical WNBA. She's great on the offensive glass, rebounding, but watching her play, terrible layups. The reason people are captivated by Clark is the way she plays, like Steph Curry. And the thing that I don't like people making it race, I don't think it's in the league that's race, it's jealousy that she's so popular. But there's lots of major white female WNBA megastars that nobody cared
the
about.
Media, in its frenzy to cover the drama, often misses. The league desperately needs her to keep talking. The WNBA isn't just selling basketball, it's selling stories. And for the first time in a long time, they have a blockbuster narrative on their hands. Caitlyn Clark is the perfect protagonist, humble, incredibly skilled, and with a clean, marketable image that sponsors adore. But every good story needs a compelling antagonist.
Team wasn't any good. Yeah, that's basically what she said, is that her team wasn't any good. And it's rather amusing to listen to, but you know, if I didn't play it for you, you wouldn't believe it. But yeah, this is Angel Reese again, running her mouth and saying some stuff that you probably shouldn't say about your own team, but that's what she does.
Every hero needs a villain to create tension and raise the stakes. Angel Reese, with her unapologetic confidence, her on-court antics, and her masterful penchant for pot stirring, has gleefully and effectively accepted that role. The friction between Clark's quiet dominance and Reese's loud declarations is ratings gold. It creates drama, it fuels debate, and it gives casual fans a reason to care beyond who wins or loses. The league would never say it out loud, but Angel Reese's chaos is becoming just as valuable to their business model as Caitlyn Clark's three-pointers.
It's time to put the Caitlyn Clark versus Angel Reese conversation behind us. Caitlyn Clark is unanimously our Rookie of the Year, and eventually she'll be the best player in the WNBA. And Angel Reese? Well, she's in the WNBA. Angel Reese is shooting 43.8% from inside 5 feet this year on 274 attempts. Now, let's think about some things that are more likely to happen than Angel Reese making a shot from inside 5 feet. Shaquille O'Neal making a free throw. Diana Taurasi hitting a three. Patrick Mahomes going to the Super Bowl. We can argue this until we're blue in the face, but numbers don't.
This calculated chaos, however, is rooted in something deeply human and powerful. Let's call it what it is: professional envy. It's the bitter sting of watching someone you once considered your direct rival ascend to a level of fame and fortune that feels galaxies away. While Reese is grinding out tough games for a struggling team, Clark is signing historic multi-million-dollar deals with Nike, Gatorade, and Wilson.
Article right here, man, released talking about Chicago Sky coach sends strong Angel Reese message after loss to Indiana Fever, right? So let's read what it says here. Chicago's loss to the Fever forced them to 2-5 on the season. They were finally gaining traction, winning back-to-back games against the Dallas Wings before they faced off against the Fever. After the loss to Indiana, Chicago Sky head coach Tyler Marsh responded to a question on Angel Reese's struggles, finishing the game against the Fever with 4 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists. Marsh mentioned that he doesn't believe Reese struggled to make an impact against the Fever despite shooting 28.6% from the field.
She is the undisputed face of the league, the darling of ESPN, and the player single-handedly credited with selling out arenas across the country. Angel Reese helped win a national championship and feels she played a pivotal role in building this new wave of interest in women's basketball. So, to see all the credit, all the money, and all the glory go to one person has to be infuriating. Her constant need to remind everyone, "I'm here too," is less about pure arrogance and more about a desperate, heartfelt plea for recognition in a narrative that has already crowned its undisputed queen. This brings us to the ultimate irony of Angel Reese's relentless campaign for credit. She is desperately trying to convince the world that she is a primary reason people are watching, and she is absolutely right, just not for any of the reasons she thinks. Her on-court performance isn't selling out arenas, her stats aren't shattering records, but her personality, her chaos, and her relentless, masterful pursuit of the spotlight have made her an unmissable part of the WNBA experience. She has accidentally become one of the most compelling characters in all of sports. She may not be the reason people bought the ticket, but she's the shocking plot twist that makes them stay glued to their seats for the entire show. And in a league that is fighting for every ounce of mainstream relevance, that kind of drama might just be the most valuable skill of all. She is not the hero the WNBA was built around, but she is, without a doubt, the villain it secretly needed.